The three. That is true.
New details are dropping about that Texas A&M trooper shoving two black South Carolina players, and insiders are whispering that this wasn't some random slip up at all. Big names like LeBron James, Marshawn Lynch, and Shannon Sharpe are calling it out, saying the trooper had no reason to ever carry a gun and a badge in the first place.
I get pulled over going to work. I get pulled over coming from work. I got pulled over in the stadium leaving the game. I'm still on property of the Buffalo Bills, and I got pulled over.
Just imagine what could have happened if this took place somewhere quiet, late at night with no cameras rolling. It's a scary thought. The only reason things didn't get out of control is because those two players stayed calm, kept their heads on straight, and focused on protecting their futures instead of reacting in the heat of the moment. But that doesn't mean the rest of us should stay silent, because the situation goes deeper than what they want people to believe.
Being in college, I'd hit him dead in his damn head with a whoop.
So here's what happened during the Texas A&M versus South Carolina college game on November 15th. Players Nick Harbor and Oscar Attaway were jogging back after a touchdown when this trooper suddenly stepped up. The viral clip clearly shows him putting hands on Harbor, shoving him, then pointing and yelling like he had authority to bark at athletes who weren't even doing anything wrong.
I get pulled over going to work. I get pulled over coming from work. I got pulled over in the stadium leaving the game. I'm still on property of the Buffalo Bills, and I got pulled over. They were still trying to figure out how I got dreadlocked. That's a f***ed feeling. I go in here, rush for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and look up and I see the billboard on the stadium, and behind I see them cherries and berries with 5-0 on me, talking about turn off the car. So I give my agent like, hey, you gotta make something happen for sure.
So you asked to be moved out of Buffalo?
Yeah, that's how serious it was.
Right after that, stadium security and Texas A&M police rushed in, and the trooper was removed from game day duties while the Texas Department of Public Safety launched an internal review. DPS later dropped a statement, but it felt like they were trying to smooth things over fast, but the internet wasn't buying it. That video spread everywhere, and fans and athletes went off. One of the first major voices to speak out was LeBron James, and he didn't hold back, saying the whole thing felt premeditated. LeBron wrote his reaction, and it shook the internet because he did not sugarcoat anything at all. Meanwhile, Marshawn Lynch came through and said he wasn't even shocked after watching that clip.
Being in college, I'd hit him dead in his damn head with a football. I'm just telling, just knowing me in college, Ocho, because I'm not going to be as professional as I am in an NFL setting. I'd hit him dead in his damn face with that football.
Hit him dead in his face, and you see that uniform he wearing?
I don't give a damn about that uniform. He had that uniform on when he bumped into two 19-year-olds.
Okay, I see you.
Ocho, they try. If you go look at the one on the right, I think it was 27. He actually tries to move. He tried to inch out the way, and then you gonna bump at us and then turn around and point.
Listen,
don't worry about it.
I don't know what's wrong with the cop. Obviously, he's in the wrong. If anything, you could have got skinny and slid through them boys real quick.
Come on, man.
Problem.
Marshawn has talked for years about dealing with racial profiling from police, and he even said racist treatment from certain officers is what pushed him to leave the Buffalo Bills in the first place. Shannon Sharpe also jumped in, giving real praise to those two college players for staying calm under pressure. He said that if something like this happened to him back in his college era, he would have snapped on that trooper without a second thought. And then Godfrey added his take, saying the whole thing looked intentional. Tweak. He said it clearly looked like the trooper walked over and bumped into those players on purpose. Godfrey didn't stop there. He pointed out that the trooper wasn't even supposed to be in that area. So he wasn't in the tunnel, yet he still made his way over right after the touchdown just to mess with those athletes. And Godfrey might be right, because some media outlets tried to spin it like there was an altercation between the trooper and the players, but in reality there was no altercation at all. It was the trooper who tried to start something, and that brings up the real question. If this is how he acts toward black college athletes in front of thousands of people, what does he do when there are no cameras watching? They seriously need to dig into this trooper's record and see how he acts in every situation the public never hears about, because the way he moved on that field has people wondering what he's done when nobody's watching. And now insiders are throwing out something even wilder, the idea that someone might have actually paid for that player to get hurt. They're hinting that this whole thing could have been pre-planned or pushed by somebody behind the scenes. But honestly, it doesn't even need a conspiracy to make sense, because this looks like another example of systemic racism that's been around forever. Black athletes, no matter how talented or respected, still deal with aggressive policing that tries to humble them or make them feel unsafe even when they're doing nothing wrong.
And then all of a sudden you see this state trooper walk in between them, like purposely bumping them. And they're like, yo, what the f? And he's like, you get out of here. Got real violent, like belligerent with them. I'm sitting here like, what the f just happened? I go, yo. And by the way, guys, there's a long version of this video. They're only showing the short version. I have the longer version of this video. He actually was standing at his post watching the touchdown happen. Yeah. And then he decided to navigate his way over so that he could put himself in position to bump these dudes like he was a high school bully from the 80s.
There's a long history of law enforcement using intimidation or force on black men in situations where there's no real threat at all. These players were calm, walking away, not causing any issue, yet they were the ones targeted. And this isn't new either.
Take your hands out of your pockets now! I got stuff in my hands. Down! Down! Look at that, Taser. Hold on. Taser!
From high school fields to pro stadiums, there are documented cases of black athletes getting policed or penalized way more harshly than their white peers, sometimes with no clear reason given. Even when black athletes reach superstar level, they still don't get full protection from this kind of treatment. Take Sterling Brown, for example. Back in 2018, he was a rookie with the Milwaukee Bucks, just trying to deal with a small parking situation, something that normally ends with a simple fine.
Police were saying that you were resisting, that you were being combative, but the video proves otherwise.
Exactly. Everybody thought I was combative, thought I was, being aggressive. But I get mad every time I watch it, because I was defenseless pretty much. This happens from coast to coast, it's something that's being shown more now that technology has advanced. And it's something that's been happening for years, and people's stories have not been told, people's stories have not been heard.
Not a full-blown police confrontation, but Milwaukee officers tased him, arrested him, and treated him like he was dangerous, even though he was mostly calm and cooperative the whole time. There was no reason for an 8-minute standoff with a group of officers over a parking ticket. Yet that's exactly what happened, and that's the reality of driving while black in America. The video went viral, and the city eventually paid him a $750,000 settlement, but money doesn't erase what he had to go through. Sterling himself said these kinds of situations happen daily in the black community, and when it happens to someone that visible, it forces people to face the issue instead of pretending it doesn't exist. Then there's Tyreek Hill. In 2024, right before a game in Miami, he was pulled over, handcuffed, and taken down in a way that looked over the top even for a tough traffic stop.
University is supporting Jalen Butler as Butler and the ACLU pursue a lawsuit against 6 law enforcement officials for allegedly threatening the swimmer at gunpoint and unfairly detaining him as the teen returned from a conference championship swim meet a year ago.
Police said Tyreek wasn't cooperating, but the video shows an officer slamming him out of his McLaren like he was trying to prove something instead of doing his job. Even if Tyreek was being difficult, it was clear at least one officer was running off pure ego and not proper training. It took one broken window for that cop to turn a simple stop into a full escalation, which is wild. And the sad part is, even younger athletes aren't protected from this kind of treatment either. Back in 2020, college swimmer Jalen Butler from Eastern Illinois University had officers pointing at his head during a traffic stop, threatening to shoot, which is terrifying on every level. Later, police tried to say they mistook Jalen for a suspect, but you already know how quick they are. to say anything that protects their own team, and the truth is, none of these stories are random or isolated. They all line up with a long pattern where black men, from students to pro athletes, get hit with harsher policing for no real reason. Those South Carolina players were literally inside a tunnel, surrounded by security, cameras, and stadium staff, yet that trooper still acted wild like nobody was watching. So imagine what goes down in places with no protection, no witnesses, no video, and no evidence at all. That's the part people don't want to talk about, but it's the part that matters the most. Now I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this was just a trooper losing control, or do you feel like something more calculated was going on? And do you believe black athletes are treated differently even in public spaces? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one.